Alright, hey, what's up everybody? This is RKD coming at you with video 2 of the collection video series. I don't know if there's going to be a third. This might be the last one. You guys will probably ban me from YouTube after watching this, but yeah. So, there's my eyeball again. Be sure and watch the others. So I just spent the last half hour clearing out all of the sideshow crap that's in here. And if you watch the other video, you'll see all that stuff and know what I'm talking about. But I just kind of rearranged the room so I could actually walk around in here and display and show everything a little bit easier so you guys can see it all better. But this is the actual room, the Rancho de Arcady here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You know, Steve Sansweet's got nothing on me, I'm telling you right now. Yeah, right. Actually, probably need him to come and get me some stuff out of here, because I'm running out of space quick. Save me, Steve. Anyway, so enough of that. I'm going to start off showing you the room. I kind of got it divided up into two sections, and kind of like a vintage and new deal there. So anyway, without further ado, here we go. I'll try to make this as non-seasick as possible. Oh wait, hold on. You know how like Mr. Rogers puts on his sweater before he starts his episodes? Well, I like to crack open a beer because that's just how we roll, baby. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with the wall of, oh my fucking god. Yeah, that took me like 2 weeks to do, I think, of crying and screaming and shouting. No, it really wasn't that bad. But anyway, so we've got, basically, I'm going to start off with the vintage because that's my favorite, and it pretty much, all the carded stuff follows from that part of the wall all the way up around, minus the door because that's new, and then trying to get back a little bit here so you guys can see. That's all vintage there, and then up to there, and then the new stuff kind of starts down here, goes around here, up on the wall, and then there's some on the closet door there, and there's more stuff inside the closet and all that. Yeah, you might want to sit down, go take a pee break or something, because we're going to be here for a while. I don't want to just show you the collection, and I want to talk about some of this stuff and you know, where I got it, what it is, and there's a couple cool little stories behind some of this stuff. So yeah. Anyway, okay, so I'm into the vintage stuff a lot because that's what I mostly grew up with, and I started collecting. Unfortunately, none of this stuff is from my own childhood, and I wish it was, but you know. So I started collecting probably like around 91, 92, and I started mostly with loose stuff, and then I decided to start doing the carded stuff. Anybody who knows me knows that I really like the foreign carded vintage. Tri-Logo is like my cup of tea, cup of joe. That's some of my favorite stuff that I like to collect. It's also harder to get because, you know, obviously it's overseas from the States here, and it's just a little bit harder to get, and it's also kind of expensive. But you know, one piece at a time, a little bit here and there. I'm trying to get. I started off with doing all of the figures loose, which I made a little case for these guys, and those are all of the loose figures from 77, 78, whenever, to 83. That doesn't include the Ewoks or the Droids figures. It's just strictly, you know, trilogy stuff. But there's a few variations in there. I have a vinyl Cape Jawa, which is fake, and a prototype blue Fett, but that one's also fan made. It's fake. because even if I could find one, I couldn't afford it anyway. But that's pretty much, and I just kind of made these little shelves there and put a piece of clear plastic across the top that keeps them in there. But anyway, so just going to kind of go over some of these. Basically just, most of them are kind of common figures on and Tri logo refers to the 3 logos that you'll see on these cards. Now you got it's Spanish, English, and French, and they're always in these oversized bubbles, and the bubbles are always freaking dented or crushed or whatever. But and they always have different packaging and artwork on them too, or photography, which is cool. I love the Canadian stuff and the what do you call it, the Palatoy stuff, which is from England. This is basically, we're looking at more of the common figures down here on the bottom. Some of these, even though they're common, they're like rare on these cards, which makes them hard to get. I think, was it him? One of these guys had like the wrong blaster in him, which, some people go crazy over that. Some people don't. Okay, now this is interesting. This one here, it's not a Tri-Logo, but it is from Mexico. Now look at his snout right there, his little mouthpiece on this. Now, if you look at this guy here, he has that one's basically from England and the States. They made it to where it came down all the way to the bottom. He's also known as Short Mouth or Short Mask, Biker Scout. Finally found him on card, which is cool. And then the Tri-Logo. Now this one's interesting too. This one is Top Toys. That one is from South America. I don't remember which country, but what's cool about him is his blaster. You can't really... Yeah, I know the lighting in here sucks, and I apologize, but his blaster is actually different. It's a different sculpt than the American version, even the Tri-Logo version. The handle is longer than the clip, and then there's also like this little tip that sticks out of the bottom of the blaster tip. And that's one of my favorite pieces there. And then we have here El Retorno del Jedi. Yeah, I can't speak Spanish. Don't hate. And this one, I'll be going up to Canada here pretty soon. Gonna try to get him signed by Mr. Ian McDermott. Yeah, I know he's not Scottish, but fucking whatever. This one is actually also the Tri-Logo. Some of the Tri-Logo stuff didn't have Tri-Logo on it on the front, but on the back, it's all different. It's a different language too, and then we can start getting into some of the sign. Oh, hello! What have we here? That's right, Mr. Orlando Billy D. Motherfucking Colt 45. It works every time. Williams Calrissian. Yep, that's right. I said it. You were thinking it. I said, you know what? Go ahead. Go ahead and look back. Pause. Rewind it. Listen. I got it right. No, go ahead. I'll wait. Okay, you're back. So, anyway, there he is, the man, the ladies' man, the myth, the legend, in all of his skiff outfit glory. Just missing his can of Colt 45. I feel kind of gypped. But we got it signed, so that kind of makes up for it. This is probably one of my holier grails of my collection. Tri-Logo Luke Stormtrooper is hard enough to get alone, but to get it signed by Mark, that's pretty cool. And he's a pretty nice guy too. I like him. For the few seconds that I actually got to talk to him. Carrie Fisher, very cool. Very pleased with that one. I didn't actually get that one signed by her. I got that done through a friend. And then what's cool about this piece here, the Yoda from overseas, is actually it's a darker skin, darker plastic that they use for his skin. And the snake he comes with is brown instead of the United States version, which is orange. So I really get into that variation stuff, which is cool. And then these are just your standard run-of-the-mill Power of the Force figures that came with coins. These are just from the States, nothing special. But I have a few of them. They're cool. And then from here all the way up is just all, commons on regular cards or TJ cards, which it's dark and they're common figures and nothing special about those. So let's see here. go across the top here. Now, I don't know if you can see or not, but up there in the corner, there are these little 2-packs that Kenner, it was towards the end of the run, like in 80, probably 84, 80, maybe even 85, I don't know. And they started throwing all these figures in 2-packs just to get rid of them because they had so much of that crap. They just threw whichever ones together. They didn't throw they didn't throw weapons in there with them. But these things are pretty hard to come by now, but they're just like little 2-packs, and there's nothing on the back. They're pretty cool. I like them. And I managed to pick up a few of them on eBay. Now they're just impossible to find because everybody else started collecting them. But I managed to get a few of them in on the initial run there when nobody was really into it. And then got some more. There's what looks like a stormtrooper up there, and some other guys. Now I'm starting to get into the older figures over here, which are not tri-logo, but you know, they're like 20, 21 backs, stuff like that. There's the man right there. I got he's on Jedi card. I got a good deal on him though, because the bubble was like cracked open, and I don't think the figure's been out of there. But and then this one I got a good deal on too. That's the Empire version. Still want to get a tri-logo version at some point, but that's like impossible almost. But I really like the old packaging, and these were some of the first figures I saw when I was growing up in the stores and this packaging stuff. Now we've also got a deal on these guys on eBay. Got all 12 of the 12 backs. You know, and the reason I got a good deal on them is because they're all missing the POP, the little blue circle thing. They're cut out on the back, but the bubbles are beautiful. They're clear. They're not dented. Some of these are even unpunched. I was pretty pleased. I only paid those like not nearly as much as what they're worth now, anyway. But oh, speaking of, before I go any further, I do actually have some of this stuff signed. Let's see here. I think this one is signed by Peter. Okay, we got that one. I almost forgot about him because he's kind of out there by himself. I got, let's see here. Oh, you already saw the other 3. And then Jeremy, of course, cool dude. Okay, Dave. And Peter again. That was back before I had any vintage stuff. I had him sign that. Anthony, got that signed through a friend. Kenny. And Michael Carter. Which I don't even know if he does cons anymore. I don't think I've ever seen him at one. Now this, even though this isn't vintage, of course, because it's Django, but this is an interesting piece here. I actually picked him up back in my days of really crazy looking for stuff. I got this one signed by Tamura, who's a really cool dude, by the way. And this one is an actual, true, real variation of the helmet. Focus. It's having a hard time. But anyway, that helmet, I don't know if you can see, there is no paint on the visor. It's all blue. That T is usually black on the figures. I found this one like in a store. We actually found 2 of them that day. Me and my friend, we drove all over New Mexico like fracking idiots. And he found one in Santa Fe, and I found that one like in Las Vegas. Same day. It was weird. I got some more of these. I think that's all the... Oh, no, wait. For the sign stuff, yeah, no, I don't have ADHD. Oh, look, a squirrel. For the sign stuff, I got... That one's signed by Jeremy, and then the Stuntman Dickie Beer. And I think that's all the signed stuff that I have right now. So anyway, getting back to the figures, there's a few up there, back behind there. You can't really see them, they're just commons. And then I got a Man, Tri-Logo. I'm really only lacking like, I think 5 or 6 figures on card, and then I have them all. Now these cases, these are the old cases, figure cases that came out. I have those are full of figures, mostly Stormtroopers and stuff, and those big ones. And some of the square ones there, actually have some Kenner bagged figures. And those are cool. And some of those are even actually worth almost as much as carded figures because they're considered actual true Kenner packaging. Okay, so damn, I didn't know they had that. I have 2 slave ones. What the hell? Well, that's cool. I mean, I'm not gonna bitch, but okay. So this, we're gonna start off with the vintage ships and play sets and all that crap. Just gonna kind of show you the different. I got box variations on some of these. I have very few of these are sealed. Most of these are already opened, but most of them are pretty good shape. And these are the die cast right here. Love those. Not that, but those two. This is the Micro Machines. That's the Falcon is actually kind of a rarer piece, and this is the Sonic controlled land speeder. I got a couple skiffs in the box up here, and then I have one loose over there. And then here's this shelving area is just kind of like loose stuff that I have, and then this one is Jabba's playset. There's one in the box and then one on top of loose. And then the elusive Sandcrawler that not a lot of people have. Can't remember if that was like a Sears exclusive or something, but I'd like to pick one up in the box eventually at some point. But those things are always missing the controller. And it's just a stupid piece of plastic with, oh, that's nice. Piece of plastic with, you know, you put batteries in there for the remote control to make that thing drive around. What the hell did we drop here? Oh, okay. And then I got some TIE fighters there. There was the blue and the white, which is the damaged, battle damaged version. The white was the first one that came out. And then we got some AT-ATs. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but some of the stuff, the plastic is so old, it's actually starting to turn yellow. Like the legs on these guys. And I don't think you can even see it, and I don't know. I won't know until I actually go back and watch this on the computer, but the legs are starting to turn yellow on some of these gray AT-ATs, which is kind of strange. But, you know, the plastic's over 30, 35 years old, whatever. It's going to start doing, it's going to do something. And I guess turning yellow is what it likes to do. What do we got here? Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. Imperial Attack Base. There's AT-AT and Empire. And Jedi Box. And then we have the Rebel Transport in the box. And then there's the Rebel Transport again in the blue box. Although, as I'm filming this, it looks green. It's really not. It's blue. And then we've got, I have a Millennium Falcon. They came out with all three versions. There's Star Wars, Empire, and then Jedi, I think, is behind Star Wars. Then we got the A-Wing in the box. And then, oh yeah, the Skiff. Another one of the more harder to get pieces because they were on the end of the line there. And there's one in the box and then the one loose. And then, oh, there's my loose A-Wing, which he's starting to turn yellow really bad. And there's some droids, weird droid stuff that came out that's just kind of hard to get. And then the snow speeders, they did two variations on those too. There's a blue box and a pink box. So those both got fighters in them. And then there's the loose one on top. Really cool figure. Or yeah, it's a cool figure if you're looking at a ship. The B-Wing, I think I already showed you guys that stuff. So that's it for most of the bigger ships and stuff. Let's go over to this shelf here. We got some TIE interceptors. Oh, we got some TIE loose ones up there. There's the TIE bomber. Oh, before we do that, let's go. I wanted to show you guys this one separately. These are actually this guy here. That's a Scimitar assault bomber. Never made. It was just these are ships that I actually made myself back in the day when I was really big into scratch model building and stuff. And I always wanted some ships that Hasbro or Kenner, whoever, was never going to make. And I think the TIE Bomber was the first one I made. Now this is actually the third or fourth version of that I made. The first one looked like total crap. Holy, oh god. So glad I don't have it because I wouldn't show it to you guys anyway. But eventually, of course, Hasbro did come out with the TIE Bomber, and theirs is absolutely beautiful. But I thought it did pretty good back then for the lack of reference photos that were out there. Now this guy, this is the TIE Phantom, I believe, from Rebel Assault 2 video game for PlayStation or something like that. It's just such a cool ship, and that's actually a full-on scratch build. I vac formed the the cockpit and everything. Made the glass. There's detail, and I'm probably gonna post pictures of these in the same thread, so you guys can see the detail on these. But this guy here, that's the TIE Defender, and they did actually make a Micro Machines version of this, but they never made a full-size version. I thought it'd be cool to have one, so I basically took a TIE Interceptor, chopped the wings off, inverted the pylons on the wings. Yeah, I know I'm crazy and I have no life. And then cut out the backs of them there. Inverted the pylons and put them on the other side. And then added detailing to that. And then, of course, where I cut the wings off, I had to fill that in, the ball part there, the eyeball. And so I just happened to have 3 TIE Interceptor wings laying around for whatever reason, who knows. And then this one is, I forgot what that was called, but it was some prototype TIE fighter that somebody had come up with online. I just took the pictures, and that's actually made from a plastic baseball and a piece of PVC pipe sticking through the middle of it, and then I just built up and out for the wings and everything from there. But just different stuff that I like to waste my time on. Okay, so like I said, I'll try to post pictures of those up so you guys can see. Okay, here we go. Back to the TIE Interceptors. Another Slave 1. No charge. And then, Jesus, how many fucking TIE Fighters do I have? 3 loose. 5. Okay. Oh, I know why. Because Mr. OCD Will has to have Star Wars, Empire, Jedi. Gotta have all these box variations because can't live without them, apparently. Now, what's cool about the reason why I have 2 of these guys, if you look at it says Star Wars TIE Fighter, and then the one on the right says Star Wars Imperial TIE Fighter. And for some reason, that one little word makes it worth more. Same thing on the dewback. We got, you can see this one. I think this one was the French, or it might have even been Canadian. The Canadian stuff is so cool. I love it. Because they had dual, they did ships over in not Canada, England, and overseas tri-logo, but the ships in Canada were done dual logo, which it was English on one side, and then the other side was in French. And that's the only country that produced them, at least to my knowledge. And those are really hard to get and rare, so anytime I can pick up the Canadian stuff, it's pretty cool. Apparently I have another, oh, okay, so I have a dewback, and, oh, that's right. See here you can see, I'm not even going to try to say that, but that's the French side, okay? And that is the English side. Pretty cool. And I think the reason I have 2 of these guys is because of, that versus that. So those are actual real box variations, and of course the Canadian version. And let's see what else we got here. The Darth Vader Star Destroyer was more of like a playset than a ship. And then we got some of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those yeah, that's a snow speeder. Of those biker scout speeders, or also known as a speeder bike to everybody else in the Star Wars world, because I'm retarded. And then this is my mission. I love the Death Star PlayStation because, and I really would. Hey Kenner, hint: if you guys made some of these, just bust out the old molds, make some of these playsets. I guarantee you'll sell the shit out of them, because why haven't you guys made these yet? What the fuck? Seriously. I got 4 here, and I got 1 up there. Did you know that if you took 8 of these guys and you put them all side by side, like in a circle, it would make a round Death Star? How cool is that? So I only got like 3 more to buy, and then I'll have to spend like 3 hours putting it all together and take pictures and never touch it again. Because I'm crazy like that, but it'd be cool to see it. So, okay, so before we move on to the 12-inch figures, which are right there, I want to show you guys something here. Not many people really collect these, and I was going to get these out and have them laid out, but I forgot. So, these are the die-cast ones, right? So there's a TIE Fighter, or X-Wing on card, Land Speeder, Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, or no, that's a TIE Fighter. Where'd Darth Vader's TIE Fighter go? There it is. Right there. So we got TIE Fighter, Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, Twin Pod Cloud Car, right there. Slave 1 and the Snowspeeder. Those are all on card. The Darth Vader TIE Fighter actually comes with there's a variation on that with there's long wings and short wings. I've never ever seen a short wings ever. You really got to know what you're looking for. Even you might buy one, not even know you have it. But there's a website out there that educated me on that. So those are the carded ships of the die-cast ones. Now they did some of the boxed ones here. Okay, we've got the Imperial Cruiser. Now the Imperial Cruiser is the last one I need in the box. Now this one, it's in good shape. It's complete. He's got the little Tantive 4 that's in there and it slides out, which is really cool, and it's always missing too, but this one has it. The paint isn't perfect, but it's really nice on this. But if you open up the bottom, there is, it's a little baby. That thing's always missing. But I'd like to upgrade this one to a packaged version, because that'll be the last one I need, and I'll have them all in the box. And then there was the Millennium Falcon, and this thing I got this guy on eBay, and he is just absolutely perfect. About pissed my pants when I got this. Comes with the bomb, the Y-wing. He's kind of a tougher ship to come by in the box, but that's the die cast and it's got plastic parts. And then of course the Falcon, which is one of the more commons. And then we've got the Holy Grail of the die cast stuff. Doesn't look like much. Yeah, you had it right. I was just testing you. This is the TIE Bomber in the package. Sealed die-cast version. This is incredibly difficult to get. I've only seen a few of them on eBay, and they wanted like your firstborn and an arm, maybe a big toe. I managed to pick this one up, and yeah, I'm really happy with this. The bubble's a little yellow, but for as rare as this thing is, or, you know, I really wish I had this thing when I was building the TIE Bomber, because I didn't know what in the heck that looked like in the back for the longest time. This is back before reference pictures were like, what's a reference picture? I don't know, what are you talking about? So, but this thing, yeah, pretty happy. I just recently acquired this, but it's been on my want list forever. And apparently, from what I've been told, the guy who I got this from said he bought it from the original owner, and then he had it. So I'm like the third owner of this. And oh boy, wouldn't that have been nice if I got it for that much? $6.99. Montgomery Ward. I was told that was Sears exclusive back in the day, and supposedly there was only 1,600 of them made, which would mean, you know, how many of those survived and how many of those are still in the box. There might even be 100 or less of those floating around the world. Who knows? So anyway, I'm really happy with that score. Let's move on to the 12-inch figures. They're not dolls! They're 12-inch figures. So, now we got Boba. I think I have 11 of them. There was 12 of them, I believe. I'm just missing Obi-Wan, which he's easy. Nobody really cares about him. I'll get him last. But I've got the Jawa. Han Solo is sealed. Stormtrooper, he's got a crack in the window, but he's in really good shape.